everything will be just fine. But they want people on the mainland to think that. But they know that people in Hong Kong, that they weren't told, they weren't bribed, they were not encouraged by foreign evil hands to go to the streets. They have their own reasons for doing that. So your question was, why would America do it? America doesn't need to do it. You know, the discontent is real, okay? And, you know, Beijing may like to tell itself that were it not for enemies abroad, I mean, that is part of the message for people throughout China. That people in Xinjiang, people in Tibet, people everywhere would be content if it weren't for American meddling. And sometimes those Taiwanese.
Hello. It is very refreshing to hear what your speech today. I just came back from the trip to Kaohsiung, Tainan, Taipei.
That plane must have been really crowded. We have a lot of people from Kaohsiung today.
Going to Beijing, Shanghai, Xi'an, Xiamen. I almost went to Hong Kong. And I diverted back to USA. Okay. The reason that you mentioned about job and education, I represent multiple companies from North Carolina and South Carolina. In the millions, I'm talking about millions sales to China in 2014. And they grew rapidly, about 30 to 40% every year. Guess what my revenue this year so far? Zero. Because of the trade war that Trump imposed it. Okay. On the education, I talked to the higher up. As a matter of fact, I met Terry Kuo, I also met the mayor of Kaohsiung. We talked about the upcoming election. We talked about how to generate. I went to Taiwan for the purpose, only one purpose. What can Taiwan produce the product that I needed in mainland China? Because we cannot export from your North Carolina side. You know how much a BMW cost this year compared to 2 years ago? 69% on the tariffs. Okay, and we were looking for the product that made in China, made in Taiwan that we can substitute American made. Okay, make American great again, bring the product to the United States, and you impose the tariff. It's the suffering of American. Okay. I was not born in Taiwan, I was not born in the mainland, I was born in Indonesia, okay, to be frank. Educated at University of Michigan, I've been here for more than 50 years. So if you look at education, and I also talked to the vice chairman of the People's National Congress. He told me his job is to create 30 million new jobs every year in China. That's more than the population of the entire Taiwan. That's his job. Stability, yes, is important. The young generation. I want to bring it up to Hillary Clinton, what Hillary Clinton said. Okay, she said that we don't have to worry about China. We just show them the Hollywood make movie and send out all the media conference, brainwash all the younger generation. Eventually, they will come up and they will be pro-USA. That's Hillary Clinton said that. Okay, Xi Jinping realized that when he took over he took over China. He said, "We're not going to do that." That's what you see what today is about. My question is to you. 3 days ago, Xi Jinping in the celebration of the 90th birthday of the People's Liberation Army. Pay attention to what he's saying there. It is very critical in what he's saying there. The first time Chinese government ever mentioned it. Okay, when you come into territory, we are very serious. That's what he said. We are very serious. And then he brought it into the parties that involved in the separation of China and territory will be severely punished at no cost.
And the question,
what do you think about that statement? Thank you.
Yeah, actually, two things, very, very quickly. Item number one is, I agree that you have to listen and take seriously what Xi Jinping and other Chinese leaders say. And I think that if you don't, you miss a lot. Xi Jinping generally means what he says. But on occasions such as Ba'i, as August 1st, the founding of the Army, and July 1st and January 1st, there's also a ritual, and you reassert policies. And so they did that on January 1st with regard to one country, two systems, which is dead on arrival in Taiwan. Okay, there's no prospects for that. They do that periodically, and they make these statements for domestic consumption, but also for external consumption. And so that's why I think you need to take him at his word about certain red lines. At the same time, you have to realize that these red lines have been around for a long time, and that people have found ways to work within these. Now, I would not diminish in any way, shape, or form the increasing military capacity of the People's Republic of China. And I think that is an important issue, and we have an expert on the subject. But I do not think that Beijing needs or wants military conflict. The cost, the risk, just too great. As you know, Xi Jinping wins elections where the outcome is already known. I don't think he wants to enter something where there are too many unknowns. And with that, we've exhausted the oxygen in the room. We're going to take a break, but when do we come back?
I think we're going to shorten the break time to 10 minutes. So if you don't mind, and then please come back at 3:05. And then we have a coffee and then some cookie outside of the room. Please enjoy it, and see you 3:05.
Thank you.